Welcome, 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 kindergarten and first grade. So nice to see you. So nice to be able to see you one more time and have our MusiKey class. Gosh, I'm missing you guys, still missing you, but I'm glad as always for this opportunity so that we can have our MusiKey together, okay? So why don't we put our hands together? Here we go. Raise those voices. Here we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the MusiKey. All of you are welcome at the MusiKey. Come sing with us and play with us and learn with us and dance with us. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the MusiKey. Yay! Kindergarten and first grade. I hope you guys had a wonderful week and that you're having a great day so far. Okay, so our instrument focus today is actually on a woodwind instrument, and so we've moved on a little bit because we've been talking a lot about percussion instruments, but today we're going to talk about a woodwind instrument. And what is this instrument called again? Do you remember? This is the flutophone, right? And how do I play my flutophone? Do I press it like this, or do I use a stick and hit it? No, we don't do that. This is a flutophone. As I said, it's a woodwind instrument, so we're going to use our mouth to blow in this mouthpiece and play it. Now, I want you to take a close look. I don't know if you can see this because it's white, but there are some holes on my flutophone, some in the front, and then when I turn the back, there's also one right here. And what are the holes for? Well, the holes are there for me to put my fingers over them, because in doing so, it actually changes the pitch of the instrument. So let me just blow it. First of all, I'm not pressing any holes, and see what happened. Okay, here we go. Wow. And did you know that if I take this off, let's see, does it make the same sound or would it make a different sound? Let's try that out. By the way, this is like a little whistle right here by itself. Let's try, shall we? Wow, so it's nice and it's higher pitched than when I have it on the instrument itself. Okay, so I'm going to cover some of the holes, and we're going to see exactly what happens when I do that. So I'm covering 3 holes. So by covering the holes, that absolutely changes the pitch. And what did we say the pitch was again? That's right. The pitch is the high and the low of the sound. I actually like this instrument. It's actually a pre-band instrument. One plays it, normally the kids that are younger, because their tiny fingers can cover the holes and so forth and so on, before you then graduate into another instrument called the recorder. But I absolutely love the flutophone. If you notice, it actually looks like a clarinet. It has a flared out bottom, and of course it has the holes and the mouthpiece as well. Okay, so I'm going to put down my flutophone for a second because I want us to go back into the classical period. So if you remember kindergarten and first grade, we were talking about the classical period. We had said last time that the classical period actually began in the 1730s. So 1730, and then it lasted all the way up to the 1820s. Now, I want to bring out some important points about the classical period and sort of compare it to the Baroque period, because of course this is, after all, our 4th period in music history, right? Now, the Baroque period, we said the word Baroque was actually referring to a certain style, okay? And it was a style that was found in their art, in their building structures, and of course in their music and so forth and so on. It was more detailed, more elaborate, and we talked extensively about that. But the classical period, thankfully, was less complicated, was less detailed, was more harmonious. The style of music flowed easier, we learn about words like homophonic and polyphonic. And so, as a matter of fact, that's going to be your homework this week. You're going to, with your parents' permission, look up the word homophonic. It's spelled HOMOPHONIC. Homophonic. Okay? What does that mean? I am not telling you, because you're going to find that out for me. But let's go into some more details about the classical period. So as I said, the texture of the music during the classical period was much lighter, was less complex than the Baroque period. We had certain composers. We learned about Handel and Bach during the Baroque period. Now, in the classical period, oh my goodness, we have composers like Mozart and Chopin and Beethoven. And although we're not going into the actual classical composers, I just wanted to make that very important point out to us as well. And then we also learned something. Remember, we had talked about the harpsichord before? The harpsichord is like the piano. As a matter of fact, we said it was a great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather of the piano. The difference, there were many differences, but one of the main differences between the harpsichord and the piano, though, was that the harpsichord sounded as if someone was actually plucking the strings, while for the piano, we knew and we learned about the hammers hitting the keys. We also learned a lot about that wonderful instrument, and thankfully, I must say, because I've actually heard what a harpsichord sounds like, I love the fact that the piano is a more pleasant sound, and it lends into dynamics, loud and soft. As a matter of fact, the piano, before it was even called that, it was known as pianoforte. And that's another lesson in and of itself. But anyway, I don't want to give you too much about the classical period. Of course, we are reminded as well that it was influenced heavily by Greece and by Rome. Okay? Now, we're going to move on, because I do want you to do that homework assignment for me to find out about homophonic, okay? But let's move into our biblical principle for today. But before we do that, I have this wonderful song called Boom Boom Da-Da-Da. And I'd like for us to get our instruments. So if you don't have your instrument now, you can pause the video. Go ahead, pause the video. And when you come back, we will definitely play our instrument to that song. And we're back. Here we go. Got it? Okay.
Primo de Nueva York dice que hay bomba en Manhattan. Yo digo que eso es mentira, porque la bomba está en Puerto Rico. Dice que ahí en Miami hay rumba en calle 8. Esto yo no lo dudo, pero la timba es de
Okay, I love it. You know what? I think I'm going to send you guys that one this week, just so you can have fun. You can play on your instrument at home, and then mommy and daddy can join you. How's that? I think that's a great idea. Okay, so we're going to our biblical principle, and today we're going to talk about 1 John chapter 3 verse 18, because this is so important. It says here in that Bible verse, little children, let us not love in word or talk, but in deed and in truth. You might say to me, but Miss Vivía, I thought we were supposed to love each other. Absolutely. We are supposed to love each other. But what the Bible scripture is actually saying is that we're not going to just love in when we say we love, or I love you, and then you're not doing anything about it, okay? If you see someone in need, if you see someone that's hurting, you can actually show them love. And that's where that word comes in, indeed. So it's things that you do that show someone that you love them. Now, how can you show someone that you love them? You can, well, I know my younger children, they can run and hug mommy and daddy, and even you too, of course. I can even run and hug my mommy and daddy and show them that I love them by hugging them, by giving them a kiss, by listening, by obeying them, by being nice, polite, and speaking the truth, because the Bible actually says that as well. So this week, today, why don't we practice that? Why don't we practice loving on those that are around us by showing them love and not just saying that we love them? Guys, I had a wonderful time with you today. I just want to say that I do miss you, but I hope to see you soon. And we're going to close out our music session by singing our goodbye song. Goodbye, my friends, goodbye. I will see you soon. Goodbye. We've played along. We've sang some songs. Goodbye, my friends. Goodbye. Bye, everyone.